Check, check, quick sound check. Can everybody hear us loud and clear? What's going on, Coach Paul?
Hey, Coach Jay, can hear you loud and clear. How's everybody doing today? And Reversal Tuesday.
Sell off, turnaround Tuesday in the markets. Hopefully everybody's doing pretty good. I took a loss in the Topstep account, looking to take a short, similar short that we were talking about during the opening call. Just took it a little early, maybe. Took a loss here. Was able to catch some of it on the way down, though, which turned out to be a decent day. How was your day, Coach Paul?
Good day. I found opportunity in a different place today in the cattle.
Good stuff. Trading the cows.
Trading cows, live cows,
Trading
hamburger meat.
the cows. We do have some earnings coming out, so as soon as we get those numbers, we will be reporting on those. We got AMD and SMCI reporting earnings, which could give us a little hint into what's going to happen with the NVIDIA earnings that is out on the 27th. But welcome to At the Buzzer, our market recap. If this is your first time here, the goal of this session is to review what happened in the markets for the day. We may talk about some markets that we have not traded before, but we believe our goal as traders is to identify opportunity. We want to see how we could take advantage of those opportunities while managing our risk. If this is our first time meeting, I'm Coach Jay, been a Topstep performance coach since June of 2023, and that is Coach Paul. Coach Paul, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Coach Paul. I've been with Topstep since April of 2023. I've been involved in the futures industry for 4 decades. I'm here to share some experience, some knowledge, and hopefully assist you in becoming a better trader.
Awesome stuff. Thank you for that, Coach Paul. You are our chat, our audience. We want to thank you, as always, for joining us every day that you do. Let us know how you did today. Were you up on the day, down on the day, anything that you learned from today? And we will get into the charts. And again, we have those earnings coming out. So as soon as we get the numbers, we will be reporting on those. I saw a trade for freedom said up 17K today. That is a day, if I've ever heard of one. Nice trading. You must have got short or long cow.
A lot of cattle.
Yeah. Short the whole, or
Great
long
job.
the whole farm. We got Bink up 111 points on one trade today and locked out immediately after. That is a great day. Shout out to Dan Trader, usually always number one in the chat. Good to see you, Dan. Coach Vince says moo. First day of my XFA, up $500 for Justin Del Grasso. Nice start.
Nice.
Looking good. All right, so let's take a look at the numbers that we got. We had a trade balance number come out today. Came in at negative 60.2 billion. Forecast was negative 61 billion. Previous number was negative 71.5 billion. We know that that trade balance number is going to be affected by the tariffs that are starting to take effect in some of the businesses that are affected by increased tariffs and increased pricing. We also did have an S&P Services PMI final number come out at 55.7. Forecast was 55.2. Previous was 55.2. ISM PMI came in at 50.1. Forecast 51.5. Previous 50.8. Anything else you got on the news, Coach Paul?
Just the trade balance numbers are kind of in line. So nothing big on the news front. I didn't see any big news on the tariffs. Did you?
We did have, what was the headline overnight? I believe increased tariffs with the EU. We did have Russia saying that it was weighing a air truce, Ukraine air truce offered to President Trump. We know President Trump was putting some pressure on Russia for a resolution to the war between Russia and Ukraine, and that might be a step in the right direction. We saw crude selling a little bit from that. We are starting a little bit earlier today, MS, because of the earnings that we're getting out. So the Topstep TV Day Show cut a little bit early for us to cover these earnings for when they do come out. But outside of that, not too much on the news, Coach Paul.
Now we focus on earnings or lack thereof.
Yeah.
So we'll see how they come out. What are the big ones coming out?
We got AMD and SMCI, some of the bigger chip makers in the world. And again, it might give us a little bit of an insight to NVIDIA that runs the world. Actually, I want to look up the weighting of AMD in the S&P. I believe it's in the S&P. But let's take a look real quick at the quote board. There are 35 different markets we can trade with Topstep accounts. And today, to the downside, we had crude oil down. Actually, nope, skip that. We had wheat futures down 1.64%, crude oil down 1.8%, and heating oil, our biggest percentage mover, to the downside at 2.98%. To the upside, we had cattle up 1.56%, hogs up 2.06%, and natural gas up 2.35%. It looks like we got the AMD numbers out. Where are you guys seeing them? I'm not seeing them yet. Chat saying we got them. Have an AMD chart up here as well.
Well, if you have them, let's see them.
Throw them in the chat.
Throw them in the chat. Join us.
SMCI. So SMCI must have reported. Give me 1 second. We'll switch over to TradingView and take a look at the SMCI chart. There's SMCI's reaction, down about 13% right now from the close. So their numbers must have come out. Still not seeing them.
I'm not seeing much of reaction in NASDAQ. So
nope, not here either. AMD has not moved at all, right, Kiran? I'm seeing that as well. SMCI definitely moved, but AMD is still sitting still here. I believe they come out in about 2 minutes or so, so we will wait on those. But that SMCI reaction doesn't look favorable for them. We don't see much of a reaction in the NASDAQ yet, and you might be wondering why we cover these earnings. More so for the Mag 7. Is it even still called the Mag 7 at this point? But when those earnings come out, we understand that those companies are heavily weighted in the equity indices that we trade. So as they go, the indices will move as well. Omar, it's all good. It's all good. Omar preempted the AMD earnings coming out. It's okay. Stay on our toes. All right. To round out our big four as far as percentages go, we already talked about crude oil down 1.76%, the S&P down 0.44%, gold up a little bit, up 0.22%, and the NASDAQ down 0.66%. I have a NASDAQ chart up here, Coach Paul. Have an eye on the AMD earnings as well. What are we looking at here in the NASDAQ on a daily?
On the daily, kind of negative. Speaking of negative, what was that?
Oh, sorry, this was SMCI. I got to switch over. I just realized I'm still looking at SMCI. We did get the numbers out for SMCI. They are, estimate was 41 cents a share. Reported came in at 31 cents. So about a 25% miss there. Revenue numbers, estimates were 5.01 billion. Reported was 4.6 billion. So about an 8% miss there. And that is why we are seeing that sell-off. Let's take a look at AMD really quick. Oh, AMD numbers must be out as well. We saw a quick spike to the upside in AMD, traded up to $179. Then quick reaction to the downside. People say all the time, hey, why can't we trade earnings? You can trade it with your personal account if you wanted to. We're not seeing much of a reaction in the equities right now, but a big spike in AMD. And again, this could give us a little precursor, these AMD numbers, to what NVIDIA is going to do. So let's see real quick here. Estimates for, they're not out. Okay, here we go. Earnings per share, AMD came in at 48 cents. Estimate was 49 cents. Revenues came in at 7.69 billion. Estimate was 7.43 billion. Of course, both of these companies are going to have earnings calls where they talk about forward guidance and things like that. I'm assuming they'll talk about how the tariffs are affecting their business, maybe affecting bottom lines, affecting prices as well. So we will take a look at those. But knee-jerk reaction both ways. Let's see if NVIDIA moved on that at all. A little spike here in NVIDIA, not too much.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And look at that candle on this. That's not good trading.
No.
So sometimes when they ask, why can't we trade these? Because it's thin. And this happens more often than not. It's,
Yeah.
um, also, it's a day trading house. It's after the major close.
Yep.
It's less volume. And if you were holding positions overnight, there would be more reason for it, but we're not.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, anything else you want to talk about on those earnings, Coach Paul? We're not seeing too much of a reaction in the equities. I'm curious to see what AMD says of, in their earnings call about the tariffs. Again, that could give us some information about how Nvidia might. And again, they are different companies, so we will have to separate that information as well.
Yeah, there's not nothing much to report on that. Those earnings were within reasonable estimates. There was no shock, and look, we can see that in the movement here. Indices are really not doing much. So
Yep. Doom says, "Go get clean fills on stocks during earnings. Let me know how it went tomorrow in the chat." Yeah.
Doom, telling it like it is.
Right. Yeah. Good luck. That is not financial advice. Doom is that let me know is not a good thing, right? It's like, hey, let me know how that goes. All right. Let's
Because
go
they'll
ahead.
let you in and out without any pain.
Right. Just make sure you hit the market button.
Yeah.
You'll get a fill. No problem. All right. We wrapped up our big four. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ chart, Coach Paul, on a daily. What are we seeing here on the daily?
Now, a little bit of a correction from yesterday's rally, but to be expected, and it's small range after yesterday's rally and average volume, um, kind of positive. I mean, there was this, the average, it was the actual average true range I have is 290. The actual range was 290.75. So, I mean, it was, we broke half of yesterday's rally where we closed somewhere near that, but nothing. I mean, it's still kind of positive. One negative that I see is where's that 20-day moving average? We're
20
right
day.
at it.
Yeah, it's at 23,236. NASDAQ currently trading under at 23,155s.
So right there. I mean,
Yep.
um, survived some earnings. Um, that doesn't look too bearish to me. Um, I think we could see it turn around tomorrow and rally, unless there's some kind of T word tweet. Um,
You never know.
we never know. But overall, I mean, it actually held up pretty well. So, did it hit the halfway point of yesterday's range?
It
It's
didn't.
almost straight
I had
there.
it marked out there. It was right around 23.8875. We didn't get down there. So like you said, it still looks pretty bullish on a higher time frame. We did get a pullback. Let's take a look at the 30-minute chart. Where we opened up last night was right on that 200 moving average on the 30-minute chart. And we just really didn't find any buying above it. If we look at VWAP from the open last night, I don't think that VWAP ever crossed above. It did for a second, crossed above that 200 moving average, but it never left that first 30-minute range. Volume didn't, price did, but really just not a ton of interest up above this range here, up above 23,400 either.
Yeah, once again, we made the highs in Europe
Yeah,
um, on price, but I mean, the volume really, there was not good buying volume when Europe opened up. They sold it. Now, I mean, we had a pretty big rally yesterday, right?
yeah, we did.
And not surprising, but overnight, the most important, and we talked about this yesterday, is this morning's open. Um, and it couldn't hold it. So let's look at the 3-minute from this morning. or the 5-minute if the
Take a look. One thing I do want to point out, and I called this out during the opening call with Hogue, right as we were going into the close. I called out a zone here, 23,380 down to 23,360. There was a pretty big seller that came in there. You guys know I use Quantower to track some volume data. I posted about this on X and on Instagram. So if you guys are not following me there, I posted a little recap of this trade. But basically, there was a seller that came in, sold about 400 contracts in a second pre-market, which is a ton of volume.
wow.
We're not going to look at it. Let's see if I can find it on a 1 second chart. Here it is. This little
Hold
candle.
on a second. There it is.
There it is. So this candle right
Wow.
here is kind of what we were looking at. It was more like this range right here. And I said it during the pre-market. I want to be long above this range and short below it. The initial trade that I took was short below this range. That's why you see me with a loss on the Topstep account here. And I actually did take a loss in my personal account as well, trading that same thesis. But ultimately stuck with the trade, and it turned out to be a pretty good one from that range.
So you said there was 400 lots sold?
Yeah, 400 contracts traded in a second. I think 70% of that order alone was negative delta. So what is that? About 300 contracts? A little
Yeah.
a little less than 300 contracts in a second sold. And that's pre-market, right? So that's, you could see this little volume spike that came in here. That whole 3-minute candle turned out to be the high of the day. And why is that significant? It's because it's pre-market and it's not happening during news, right? So somebody came in and had to sell or wanted to sell before the market opened, which I thought was pretty interesting.
Yeah, well, especially that size. That
Yeah.
was an order, but most likely a 400 lot.
Right.
And they held that market right there, and that's the 1 second.
So I went out to a 3-minute, but the zone on the
All right.
1 second was about a 20-point range.
Interesting. Before the market, which holds that high, no one took that out.
Yeah,
Do you consider that an imbalance? That
100%.
means okay. And why?
There were more sellers than buyers in that range for some reason. Now we don't know what the reason is, and we actually don't even know if they're selling to open or close that position, if it's a hedge or whatever it is. But if we're looking at just the strict volume that gets traded there, someone needed to trade 400 contracts in that second. And in my opinion, if you're selling something, you're selling it because you don't think there's any more room up, right? If I'm selling to open a position, it's because I want to short. If I'm selling to close a position, it's because I don't think there's any more room to the upside. So paying attention to where that volume came in and then just seeing how the market responds to it when it gets there, right? We can attach a VWAP to it like we always do. We can see that VWAP left the range to the downside early. Coach Paul, you were talking about the New York session open, and initially there was a push to the upside. That volume didn't leave the range to the upside on the 3-minute. Price did.
Yeah, I was watching that, and I didn't take the buy on that because the 30-minute looked a lot different. We were under we got under the 200. It didn't make a new high.
Yeah.
And the VWAP on the half hour just was stagnant. That's interesting considering we had that 400 lot just before that. That was an important trade. Like it said, whether they were liquidating or they were getting short.
Oh, we are seeing the equities make new lows now. AMD is selling off. Give me 1 second here. Let's pull
Yeah.
up this AMD chart again. AMD is now selling, right? We saw a spike up to 180s. AMD currently trading $167 now. NASDAQ just made new lows on the session, trading 23,100 right now. Interesting stuff going on here. What was that? 50% of that range from yesterday was around 2388s. Let's take a look at the daily in the NASDAQ, but AMD is selling off pretty hard right now.
On light volume.
Yes, it is.
So we're right at that 50%.
Yep.
I said, once again, tomorrow's opening is going to set the tone in New
Agreed.
York. Remember, Europe, for the most part, is on holidays. Good on them. I'd like to take the month of August off.
Be nice, right?
I don't know. My Australian friends used to look at me and goes, What's wrong with you people? You take
Take some time off.
1 week?
Right.
But it in Europe, it's very slow. So the New York Open is going to bring more volume by default. Interesting sell-off here.
Yeah, it is. We got a question in the chat. JG says, "Who is trading during this time period?" If you're trading a personal account, you can still trade right now. If you're trading stocks, you can still trade right now. With Topstep accounts, all your trades need to be closed by 4:10 Eastern time. This is a pretty thin time in the markets, right? So while we do see it moving, traders are just like, hey, why can't we trade during this time? We got 23 hours to trade these markets every day. This extra hour, especially in a thin market. Personally, I don't think it's worth the risk. Usually when I look at my personal account at this time, I'm locked out if I'm not trading a couple micros, if anything. But your Topstep accounts do need to be closed. All right. And AMD is still making new lows, trading 166 now. That does not look good.
If you're in a live account, I believe you can trade it, can't you?
No, not with the Topstep. Not with Topstep. No, the risk manager said we want our trades closed. They might actually have to close even earlier than XFAs or combines. And I know there was a conversation about changing that, but it's a little bit more risk, right? If you don't get out of a position, or the auto liquidator doesn't get you out, do you have the margin in your account to hold it overnight, and things like that? There's some concerns there for sure.
All right. Well, the bottom line is you can't.
Right. Can't do it. Not here, at least. All right. Let's keep going here. I mean, really nice sell off once we got back under that 200 moving average on the 30-minute, Coach Paul. And then, what do we say about this for the rest of the day? We pushed into the middle of the range from yesterday, making new lows right now. Nice retest of that New York session VWAP here later in the day, sometime mid-afternoon. We could not find the buyers above it. Second opportunity to maybe get into a short here. There were some decent long opportunities. I think we saw some of the traders in the Thunderdome segment, Chad and Alfie, taking some scalps long, right, where we did get range bound after the sell-off. So a little bit more two-sided trade in the middle of the day. But just a little bit of a correction from yesterday's price action. Anything else you got on the equities, Coach Paul?
Yeah, we look at that rally to VWAP, and we closed above VWAP. I actually took a scalp there, long. And as soon as we closed below it, I got out for a small loss. And boy, am I glad I did. When we talk about, one of the things I don't want to get the impression of is that we're just talking about winning trades. We talk about losing trades. I don't mind taking that trade as a scalp, but new information comes in. I measured it for 2 ATRs. I lost less than 2 ATRs. But what's interesting is we got up there and just stalled.
Yep.
So when you bring that 400 lot comes to my mind, that like the one interesting trade pre-market, never broke the highs. We can't find any good sustained momentum to the upside.
No.
And if we make new lows as we speak, that is,
It sounds like they started the selling party as early as they could and just kept going the rest of the day. We did see some pretty big size trading on the S&P books today. There were a couple of thousand lots on the offer. I don't know how many of them actually got filled, but I'm looking at the S&P here, and we have a similar thing, right? You see this little random volume anomaly at 718. Central Time. What is the significance of 7:18 Central Time, Coach Paul?
Bond opening is in 2 minutes. Um, I don't know.
Nothing, right? So why did they trade that volume during that time? It's because they either had to or needed to, but they made it significant by trading that volume, right? Notice I didn't pick out any other random candle. We picked out the one with the high volume relative to the time frame that's trading. And again, they got the party started here. That was 6 times the volume average at that time. And while it isn't the biggest volume candle for the day in that time frame, that's pretty significant. We can see in the S&P, we didn't break that high either. It's one of my favorite things to do. I'll try to do it more during the opening call. If we start to see volume anomalies prior to pre-market open and it doesn't align with any news or anything like that, just mark the levels on your chart because it does have the potential to give us some clues into what might be happening for the rest of the day.
Did that selling come at the same time as the NASDAQ selling?
It did. It did.
All right, that's a theme.
Yep.
I'd like to. What about the Dow? We don't talk about the Dow. Sorry, Dow traders. Nothing against the Dow.
Yep, same time. So there was a headline that came out at that time. I'm trying to remember what it was. It had something to do with tariffs. Shit, I can't remember what the headline was. I said it too. The president was talking about tariffs at the time, and then we saw selling come in, and we didn't trade really above that. The Dow, same thing. Selling came in around that same time. EU tariffs, thank you, JG. EU tariffs, the president was talking about at that time. Then we see the selling come in. T word gets it done, and even in the Dow, right? We did trade above it, and similar to the NASDAQ, but we priced above it. Volume never traded up here. Interesting stuff here.
Very interesting there because that market they did not like that at all.
No.
By the way, someone asked me what I thought about tariff. Was it earlier? I'll just make it simple. A tariff is a tax. Someone's paying it. Period. End of story. There's no debate about it. Who's paying for it? We can debate as much as we want, but a tariff is a tax.
Awesome stuff. Thank you for that, Coach Paul. Question from JG again. How can it trade there with no volume? Good question. It obviously has to have some volume, right, to trade, right? Somebody has to buy in order for us to trade here. But is it the type of volume that is going to be able to sustain a move? And that is the issue, right? If we look at VWAP from the time that anomaly happened, and why are we calling it an anomaly? Because look at all of the other volume around it at that time frame. This is significant in all the markets that we traded. If we attach a VWAP to that, VWAP is the volume weighted average price, so where most of the volume is trading. Price traded up here, look at where VWAP is. So when we're going up here, these are all weaker buyers. These might be short covering. These might be bad day traders that are looking for breakouts and become great sellers when nothing sustains up there. So that's what makes that an anomaly. The T word is scaring the viewers away. Don't be scared. It's okay. When we say the T word, the markets don't do anything. So
Yeah.
this is a safe space. This is a safe space. All right. Anything else on the equities, Coach Paul?
That's it for me.
Good stuff. Let's take a look at gold. What are we seeing here in gold?
We're inching back. Is it safe? Is it safe to buy gold again? It's inching back. We were holding. You know, it's inching with that big rally on was that Friday?
Yep.
And we're just holding above it. The selling is not. Sellers are not involved. We're above both of those 20 and the 50. Once again, we got to get over that trend line, downtrend line. We're still into that pennant. But what does not go down must go up. Is that the theme? I don't know, but this we had some good buying Friday and wheat up. But look at that. We're just staying above that huge candle.
Yep. 34.17 is the high there.
I just get the feeling we're gonna pop.
Yeah. I think to me, gold has been a tough trade over the past 2 days because we're kind of in the middle of this range on a higher time frame, right? Where I think we're like actually dead set in the middle of this range on a higher time frame. Yeah, we keep using that 50%. If we go all time high to this to the lowest low here, we keep bouncing off the 50% there, right? The 20 and the 50 running in parallel. The 20 may be about to cross the 50 in a couple days. This is the daily moving average. Right now, the 20 is at 34.0890. The 50, Coach Paul, is at 34.1460. How much weight do you give to a moving average cross in this tight of a range on a higher time frame?
Not much. It's braiding, but they're combining. So what do we really have? We have balance in the intermediate term. That's why I'm looking at the 200 is a longer term. Right here, we're in balance. And we've been in balance for 3 months now, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the longer it stays in balance, the bigger the move is going to come out of it. So whether you use trend lines, longer term moving averages, or volume. Because look at the interesting part of all this is that the volume is average. There's no spikes here. So I see from that it's at value. It hasn't lost its sparkle. It's taken some hits, but this last few days of buying, let's see tonight. I think let's see what Shanghai does tonight, 8 o'clock. And I would measure that half hour and see if we get some kind of urgency in selling or buying. Because if the buying comes back, I think it's going to pick up. My feeling is it's going to pick up a lot of momentum. Where that comes from, we have news coming up with Russia. We have, possible inflation numbers that are going to pick up. You never know what's going to come in, but just if something sparks that, it will go up a lot faster than it goes down.
100%. Nice two-sided trade last night. The 30 minutes. Take a look at the 30-minute chart. We opened up. Why does this look different here? Okay, never mind. We keep holding this high here. This was FOMC. Was that FOMC? Is that the first? No, this was NFP. Sorry about that. This was NFP.
That was NFP.
This was NFP. We keep holding the high. We're still above the 200 moving average on the 30-minute chart. Nice two-sided trade. We did have a sell-off last night after the Asia session opened up. Sell off into the New York session, which opening range trade. Let's talk about the opening range trade. We've been polling the chat, asking about. No, that range was on Friday. That was NFP. We've been polling the chat, asking whether we should take a 1 minute, 3 minute, or 5 minute opening range trade in gold and crude oil in the mornings. Today, the chat voted for a 5 minute opening range. The 1 minute would have stopped us out. We can see this right here. The 3 minute, 1, 2, 3 would have triggered a long, and the 5 minute would have triggered a long as well. We were looking to take a 5 minute long. I know JD, he felt bad about it, but don't feel bad, JD. We'll catch the next one. The 5 minute triggered a long as well, and that would have been the trade of the day, right? We had almost a 1% move to the upside from that 5 minute opening range breakout. And you hear Hogan JD say it all the time. It's a low probability trade, but when it works and when you allow it to work, it can really be a pretty big mover. If we attach a VWAP to that, we can see that VWAP. We got some urgency, Coach Paul, here in the first 5 minutes. We were out of that range in the next 5 minutes, and we never looked back. Some quick opportunities to pull back to VWAP, but that was a bounce, and it held the rest of the day. So a really strong day today in gold.
What time did that take off? Is that the same time as the tariff talk?
Yeah, right around that same time, right? So 7:20 Central is the gold open, and that news came out around 7:18 Central Time. So right before it, we saw a little bit of volatility, and then gold just took off.
Well, well, don't feel bad, JD, because
Yeah,
there's no reason.
yeah. I miss good trades all the time. Miss good trades all the time. But looking pretty strong going into tomorrow. Like Coach Paul said, we'll check the 30-minute tonight. Dakota Slow Markets may be looking at a gold trade. We know he does trade gold overnight. Was on Topstep TV today with Stephen A., one of our XFA traders, who said he only trades the metals at night and then the equities during the New York session, which I thought was pretty interesting.
That'll be interesting to watch.
Anything else on gold, Coach Paul?
That's it.
Good stuff. Take a look at crude oil. We did get some news out of crude oil yesterday. OPEC Plus increasing production of crude, which should be bringing prices lower, and it has been bringing prices lower. We also heard that we might hear a peace treaty between Russia and Ukraine. So that may bring oil prices lower as well. Oil currently trading 65.19. Hasn't been the worst market to trade over the past couple of days. Down about, what was oil down? 1.6% today. Decent range. What are we seeing here in oil, Coach Paul?
We saw a nice break, but we're still in the range of that candle. Kind of churning, probably a place to buy. We're sitting on that 50-day moving average. We're right there. We haven't crossed yet. Does look heavy, but as we know with crude, when it looks the worst, it's a great time to buy. When it looks the best, it's a great time to sell. So with that, I'm not trading crude. Now, doesn't mean I'm not telling everyone if you trade it and you have a setup that's there, take it. But boy, we talked earlier, crude has been a tough market. Let's look at the 30-minute.
All right, let's take a look at the 30-minute in crude oil. Here is, all right, I'm going to mark out two different ranges here. We're going to look at the first 30 minutes of Globex Open, which is right here. And then we're going to look at the first 30-minute candle of the London session open. I'll mark that one out in red because we know most of that volume does come in during London. What do we got here, Coach Paul?
No, once again, London sets the tone.
Yep.
And they sold off early. Interestingly, we wicked how many times at the highs of the day?
Yeah.
1, 2. So when you see a wick, and I want to tell you, it's light volume. It's just a price. I consider it exploratory buying. Let's see what we get here. Where there's price, but there's no. It's very light volume because it can't sustain through time. But how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think we can make an assumption that there's offers there. And looking at VWAP from the Globex Open, what is it? It just, and once again, for new viewers, VWAP, volume weighted average price. It's taking volume into consideration for the price. To me, it's much more valuable than price alone. When you use them both, you get a lot of information. The information we see is that who's dominating the action if VWAP is going sideways? No one.
No one.
No one.
The algo's taking everyone's money.
It's doing its job. It's trading. But we start seeing VWAP starting to curve downward. what time? At about 10 o'clock Central Time? Is that at 9 o'clock?
Right around. So
No, last night.
okay, so this is London session still here. Once that VWAP starts to turn, this is 2 a.m. Central, 3
Yep.
a.m. Central right here.
So for that to happen in the equation, there has to be some selling volume that's greater than buying volume. That's what the equation is saying.
Yep.
If I'm looking to buy it, I would prefer to have that in my favor, not against me. So when we talk about reading markets and using volume, VWAP is a very valuable tool, and we see it in there. I don't know how many times when I want to buy it, I'm just looking at price and it starts railing, and I just don't want to miss it because I want to buy it, and all of a sudden it goes down quicker than it went up. Why would that happen? Well, because there's resting orders. There's more literally sellers than buyers
Yeah.
in that equation. So for those of you who want to use it as a tool, look at that. Look, if we just remove the candles, and we see just VWAP by itself without the vertical movement, what is that telling you?
Flows to the downside.
There. So if you're confused with VWAP, it's a great tool to get an idea of the market's bias by volume, not my bias.
Volume moves the market. Volume moves the market. If I want to buy 100, Coach Paul wants to sell 500. He's moving price lower because
Okay.
he needs to find who else is going to buy those 400 from him. So good stuff there, Coach Paul. Really nice sell in crude oil today if you were able to catch it on a higher time frame. I think if we looked at this on a shorter time frame, there's a lot of overlap. Yeah, this looks actually it's
Skewed.
yeah. I think if you're going to trade crude, stay up for London and or wake up for London because by the time we get to New York session, if you're a range trader, this is a pretty decent range here. But we can see where the direction came from. Shout out to all of you in the chat, reminding all of our friends here that are watching to please hit that like button if you haven't done so already. I don't mind doing the reminder because a lot of the times I don't hit the like button until I'm reminded as well. Usually hear Andre say it or something on Topstep TV. But we appreciate you joining. Hopefully this information that we're giving out, again, is for educational purposes only, not for any type of trading or investment advice, but hopefully it's helping with your trading journeys. Let us know if it is, and let us know if there's anything else that we can do for you if you guys have any questions. Speaking of questions, Alan Barber had one. I trade a 15-minute opening range break New York session for MNQ and MGC. Been thinking about using Edgeful. Have you found that useful or does it hinder your trading? Doesn't hinder my trading at all. I think Edgeful is a pretty nice tool to use to kind of just aggregate the stats of something that you're looking at. And at the end of the day, we still have to click the button, right? So Edgeful is going to give you the information and tells you what's probable. But at the end of the day, as a trader, just knowing the stats isn't enough. We have to click the button and have some faith in the strategy. Faith in the strategy so much that I haven't seen a stat on Edgeful that says anything happens 100% of the time. So can we trust it in the times where that percentage, is just going to play out, right? If something's 70% of the time going to happen, there's still a 30% probability that we lose on those trades. Can I still take the same trade every single time? I think having that data helps take it, but it doesn't change anything. I'm going to pull up real quick. If you have Edgeful, you can use the Edgeful algo. If you pay for the Edgeful algo, I'm just going to pull this up real quick. These are on default settings. I have a 15-minute opening range with 15-minute candles, so it's looking at the 15-minute opening range. When a 15-minute candle closes outside, it's taking a long. Just think about that when you go into developing your trading plan. Is a 15-minute close too much time on this trade to then take the entry, or am I looking for it on the initial break, Remember, if you use this algo, it's going to look at the close of the candle on a 15-minute. If I change this, let's say I go to a 2-minute, does it change the stats at all? So you want to play around with this, play around maybe with the risk to reward on the trades, but this is a good way to kind of get that information and see what might work the best. But ultimately, we still got to click the button.
Boy, I like those graphics on the bottom. It looked like a sunset in the desert. Nice. Look at that.
Looking good. Yeah. Sunset
Yeah.
in the desert. I like that. It's like
Yeah.
purplish red hue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
So, it's got that going for it.
This is
But
trading.
no, it's a good tool.
Yeah.
But like you said, you have to still make it. It helps enhance your decision making, but at the end of the day, you have to make the decisions. It doesn't do it for you. When that happens, we're all done.
Yeah. What do we do with us? Where are we where are we supposed to go? Adele Trader, good comment here. Aggressive participants, market orders move the market. 100% agree with you, right? When we say volume moves the market, that's kind of what I'm saying, right? The volume from those aggressive market participants is going to move the market. But yeah, that is probably maybe the better way to say that. Can you explain how you read volume during a trade? I'm just looking for Amid. I'm gonna send a link. Does anyone have that link to the volume class from the 150K subscribers? I'm gonna try to post that again. I should probably keep that bookmarked somewhere. And it's in my YouTube history, but I might have to go search for it. Coach Paul, while I search for this, any other markets you want to talk about? Anything on your scouting report?
No. Let's look at cattle. Let's start with the daily.
Oh yeah, how can we forget that? This is Coach
A
Paul's
shout out
trade of the
to
day.
Coach Hoop, the cattle man. We've had a big. I mean, cattle. If you've gone to the store and went to buy some meat, you're like, what the hell? Can I afford to eat? Do I want to afford to eat steak? Chicken's looking better, but we've had this big rally. We're still above the 200. We had that engulfing candle come down and really not follow through. So I look at this as looking for an opportunity to buy. So with that, coming into today's action, look at the 5-minute opening.
Why the 5-minute here on cattle, Coach Paul?
I could use the 3-minute, but I would see if most people want to use the 5. It's a little longer, and with cattle, there's no overnight trade. There's no Twitter feed talking about their cattle trade. I would say it's pure commercial trading. It doesn't fuck around. Excuse me. It doesn't screw around.
Hey, it is what it is.
And we have that opening 5 minutes, which was good buying, and we left the range immediately. And then we had urgency on the VWAP, on VWAP. This coming after the break. That is the definition of urgency. There's no bluffing here. This is one thing with cattle or hogs or in the meats and in some of these alternative markets. It's truly commercial players. There's no one running stops or trying to shake the tree. Either you want it or you don't. But this had urgency. It's still a longer term uptrend. It offered an opportunity, and boy, did it go. To me, it was my best trade of the day. And look what happened when the buying stopped. It just went sideways.
Yep.
Look at that was a string, I think, of 12. So let's say the first hour.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 green candles, and then we flattened out. That is a move. That is honestly, that's one of the cleanest urgency setups we've seen in a long time, and it makes sense that it's happening in cattle.
Yeah. I mean, there's one of the things in agricultural markets is there's a shortage of cattle. It's not like you can go and print up some cattle, and it takes time. I mean, you have to fatten the cattle up. There's also feeder cattle. In the feeder cattle market, it takes, I'll have to ask Coach Hoop, it takes at least a year to fatten up a cattle and or more. So unlike um, bonds or currencies, you could print some amount of money here.
Can't print cows?
You can't print cows. You can't inflate a coin of cows. It's takes time. It's a real market. So when there's some urgency, they have to go. For what I don't know, what I would ask Coach Hoop, what the news sparked, I don't know, but I saw that this morning, and I'm like, oh, that's the DNA of something I really like, and I took the trade. Um, and like I said, whether that would be in cattle or NASDAQ or rice, there's urgency. And
Urgency
that
for
was a
sure.
classic.
I want to pull up a NASDAQ chart really quick here, Coach Paul. Shout out to the chat. You guys are on it all the time. We got 1,000 lot on the offer in the NASDAQ right now, a little bit above where the market is currently trading. Let me switch over here, pulling up my Quant Tower chart because I don't have level 2 on Topstep X. But the NASDAQ currently trading 23,086 half. There are 1,000 contracts offered at 23,105. We'll see whether or not that trades out. We'll see whether or not I'm going to take a screenshot of this and send this to Dakota so he can keep an eye on it for slow markets. But that is not a little bit of size in the NASDAQ, especially for this time. Like, why put that order out there right now?
Yeah.
Interesting time there. So I'll keep an eye on that level 23,105 in the Nasdaq. And we'll see if that trades out. You can on Topstep X, if you have the DOM up, you can have the volume profile on your depth of market, and it'll show you whether or not volume trades at that level. But I'm gonna keep an eye on that one for sure. Good eye, chat. Good eye.
Hey, I'll take them out. Oh, wait, it rejected my bid. So 1,000 lot, and it's still there. And
It's just sitting there. Yeah, I mean,
from the close.
we're 23 points below it right now. But okay, now they just what the hell did they just do?
To be closed.
Okay, there we go. All right. All right, we closed. But yeah, 23,105 was that price, but the market is closed now, so we won't see it there. Razy Pancock says, so if I buy some contracts to buy some cows, they'll send me cows. Is that how that works, Coach Paul?
Yeah, actually, well, they won't send it to you. They'll send it to a lot, and you'll have to move them from there. Actually, for maybe you youngins don't remember Johnny Carson's show. They actually did that, pulled a prank on one of the guests, and it delivered a bunch of pigs at someone's house. It was pretty funny. But no, you don't. It doesn't go to your house. It has to go to a qualified feedlot where you would transfer them, buy them, and without getting to it, you have transportation costs. So, or though, did they go cash? I don't remember.
Who's that?
So they do cash equivalents
Okay,
sometimes.
got you.
They might have done that in the hogs. Without, I don't want to go too deep into taking delivery right now. You don't have to, you're a day trader, you don't have to worry about it. If you decide to become a position trader, it's really not that dramatic. I once had a customer who got delivered on some crude oil, and I had to give him the news, and he's like, "Oh God, don't tell my wife. I don't have the room in my backyard." Swear to you, those were his actual words. Don't tell my wife I don't have. And I said, "Well, I think I could do something for you. Hang on, because all you have to do is put it back out, and it might cost you
Got you.
$100. I mean, it's not that great of a drama, but you won't have to worry about that in your day trading because you're never going to have that happen. You can't.
Good stuff. Thank you for that, Coach Paul. We did start a little bit early, so maybe we can end it a little bit early. I know we got some sessions coming up. Coach Robert just started his in Discord, going over technical analysis. We got Coach Hoop coming up in about 30 minutes with his session on fundamentals. I got to go meet with my VIPs. Coach Paul, any other markets that you want to discuss? Really nice trade in cattle here. And again, cattle has the potential for these urgency setups. I think more than other markets that we see. Here's another one here, which was pretty clean. 5-minute opening range, maybe not the same
Look at that
exact.
gap down.
Yeah, this is it's a good trading market. I don't know how many traders trade it. Here's another one, 5-minute opening range, broke to the downside, trade it. This might not be a market that you ever hear someone on Topstep TV talk about outside of Coach Hoop, but that does not mean it doesn't trade. The technicals are the same. Notice we haven't changed anything, right? We're still looking at an opening range, a break, how volume responds to it. The money is still green if you win a trade here. It's also still red if you over leverage and bet the farm. Ba-doom.
Oh man.
But all right.
Wow. I'm hurting from that, Coach. I don't know if I'm gonna recover.
I tried. I tried. All right. Anything else you got before we go, Coach Paul?
No. That's it. Like we said, plan your trade your plan, and I can't say it enough. Plan your trade.
Plan your trades. Tomorrow, this week is still pretty quiet. We do have a 10-year auction coming up at it's 1 p.m. Central Time, 12 p.m. 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 12 p.m. Central. We got McDonald's earnings, Uber, Disney, crude oil inventories out. Let's see if they actually get that number right after what happened with the jobs data. And outside of that, pretty quiet day tomorrow as far as news goes. But we know, of course, that the T word is always lurking somewhere around the corner and has the potential for some volatility in these markets. So trade well, manage your risk. Remember, Coach Robert's doing a class right now, Coach Hoop in 30 minutes. We got Coach Ray and Coach Vince 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. Central Time. We have Dakota with Slow Market 7:30. He is going through his combine challenge to get back into a live account, him and Baron. Oh, make sure you join Topstep TV tomorrow. We will be voting on who you think is going to win between Dakota and Baron. That combine challenge, who can get back into the XFA and into a live account and 100K in profits from the live account. We'll be voting on that. Then we have Aaron. Aaron is back with the London Open tomorrow, 1:30 a.m. Central Time. Then we have D with the Euro trade at 3:30 a.m. Central. Of course, we'll be back for the daytime show at 7:20. See you all then. If you haven't done so already, hit that thumbs up button on the way out. We appreciate you all joining as always, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Coach
Bye.
Paul.